Hi everybody, this is Tiffany. We are just slightly before our meeting start time, so I'm going to let folks continue to join for a minute or two, and then we will get started.
Nobody talk.
Sorry guys, that was, I had another call coming in that I thought was related to this one. I wanted to make sure they had their sign-in information.
Sunday.
Okay, I think we've got, it sounds like the beeps have slowed down, and I think we are probably ready to go. For right now, let's get started by seeing who all is on the call. Up in Region 1, who all's in the call up north in Region 1?
Charlie and Becca Gay with Northwest Medical Transport.
Darren and Lisa Talley, Whitetail.
Debbie King, Whitetail.
Maria Bagley, Prairie Transportation.
Terry Capshaw with Lost River Area Transit and Denawat Area Transit.
Leanne Michael, Denawat Area Transit, Lost River Area Transit.
Anybody else from up north on the call? Okay, how about out east in the Twin Falls and east area, if you would tell us who's on the call.
I'm Jim Rout with Valley Shuttle out of Twin Falls, Idaho. I was also there yesterday after I got the right numbers given to me.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Mike Manning with A to B Services.
Hello everyone, this is Sergey Arutunov with Idaho Transportation Company in Pocatello.
And Slava Arutunov with Idaho Transportation.
Okay.
Alma from Sprinter Shuttle Service.
Anyone else from the eastern side of the state on the phone?
Corey with CT Transportation.
Amy with Foothills Transportation.
This is Ryan with Roland Shuttle Services of Idaho.
This is Jessica with Roadrunner Shuttle.
Jana with Tibbetts Transportation.
Okay, last call for anybody, Twin Falls or East? Okay, let's talk the Treasure Valley here. So if you have not already called out your name, if you would let us know that you're on the line, that would be great.
Jeremy, Trinity Transport.
Madonna with Freedom Shuttle.
Sorry, could you say that one again?
Ginger with Joanne Shuttle.
Sonia with L&H Transportation out of Mountain Home.
Gary from Special Delivery.
Dan Gray with Smart Transit.
Sarah Wyvie from Lost River Area Transit.
George with Green Zone Transportation.
Did somebody just join?
Yes, Cleta from KDM Transportation.
Great, thanks, Cleta. Anybody else that hasn't announced that they're on the call yet?
Christina Shahan's here from MTM Quality.
And
Thanks.
Heather Carey Zales from Aura Counseling and Wellness.
Okay.
Amy with Victory Medical Trans.
Ron Dunbar and team are also here from MTM.
Thanks, Ron.
Elena Mattia from MTM.
Thanks, Elena. Okay, Matt, did you make it onto the call? Matt did have a conflict this afternoon. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to join us or not. And Representative Wintrow, have you made it onto the call? Okay. Well, I think it's probably time for us to get started. We appreciate everybody coming to this call today. Very much like yesterday's call, this call will be focusing on a single topic. And the topic at hand today is questions about the new liquidated damages schedule and how they will be assessed and what that process is and what happens at MTM before they are assessed. A couple of housekeeping items. If you are not speaking, please mute your phone so that we don't have any background noise. And beyond that, I think I'm going to have, oh yes, the same rules from yesterday. We need to be respectful. This is a call of professionals, and we want to keep it at that level. I am going to turn it over to Ron and let him kind of direct the conversation, and we'll just jump in and out as we need to. Okay?
Thanks, Tiffany. So first and foremost, again, thank you all for joining the call today. I was able to hold with our legal department, and so rather than have that document, series of documents due back to us today by end of business, we were able to extend that out through Monday, July 8th, by close of business, to allow you a little bit more opportunity to review those documents, and also hopefully have any of your questions related to liquidated damages answered on the call. Ms. Christina Shahan to join the call. She is the supervisor of the Quality and Compliance Group that is responsible for reviewing, providing those pre-assessment documents as it relates specifically to liquidated damages. So with that, I'll open the floor to the first question related to the liquidated damages process, and we'll get started from there.
Ron, this is Leanne at Benoit Area Transit. So as the quality and, or the quality group, I just need to verify they are in fact employees of MTM, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
This is Debbie with Whitetail Transportation. So with the sample that you guys sent out to us in May, from everything that I've seen, it appears that you guys are automatically assessing liquidated damages off of the information that we turn in with our billing, correct?
So, Christina, would you like to take the lead on that question?
Sure, not a problem. So for your timeliness LDs that you are looking at that you were sent, that is correct. It is based off of your claim data that you submit into online access. That is correct.
So can I ask why liquidated damages are based off of complaints? We have a lot of situations where, again, the majority of the members are DDA. You guys are aware of that. Jimmy has to stop and look before he can board the van. Facilities are well aware of that. Jim gets agitated and we have to pull over and calm him down. So well aware of that.
Sorry, Debbie, hold on. Somebody is not muted and they're breathing on the phone, and so we're only getting about every other comment that Debbie makes. So if you could just double check that your phone is muted, that would be helpful. Go ahead, Debbie. Sorry about that.
So there are a lot of circumstances where we may arrive a little bit late, and our facilities are well aware of that, and they don't mind. They don't have a problem with it because they deal with the same issues. You guys aren't getting complaints. You're just automatically assessing damages. Why are you doing it automatically instead of based on complaints?
So I think that, and do you want me to answer this, Ron?
Sure.
Okay. So we do look at compliance across the board. Obviously, we do allow for those special circumstances that do come up. That is why we have that pre-assessment period in place before you are actually assessed. If you have a situation where you were late due to something out of your control, obviously, or those type of things, that is when we allow you to put that into your appeal, and we take a look at that, and we would cancel that before it ever even got taken out of your check. So we do give that kind of 14-day period after you get that pre-assessment email for you to let us know of anything that you don't agree with or you would like us to take a second look at before we actually send that off to accounting to be taken out of your check 2 weeks later.
Okay, but 98% of the people we transport, that's what it's like. We're not just transporting Mary to her doctor's appointment and then picking her up and taking her home. Every morning we fill our vehicles with children in adult bodies. and we take them to facilities. They fight, they argue, they refuse to sit in the back seat. They throw up because they're playing with their phones. We have to stop and clean that. They have to stop and look at the squirrel, the butterfly, the flower. This is daily for us. 98% of the people we transport. So every 2 weeks, we're going to be disputing liquidated damages on what occurs daily for us. Susie's medication didn't kick in time, so the facility or mom is calling us saying, hey, can you pick her up on her second round instead of the first round? We can't do that anymore. We have to have them call MTM and change the time. That's what I'm talking about. This is a daily occurrence for us. It's not rare, it's daily.
Also, this is Cleta. We do several DD centers, and some of them won't let us drop our kids until a certain time. But if you're dropping at a certain time to one center and you have to go to the next, that often will, show up that we arrived at one of the facilities late. And if we're going to get charged in that situation, do we cut back on our clients so that doesn't happen? Because we are like that on a daily too. And also like our counseling centers. Sometimes they want us to bring the men's or the women's group in early so that they can go on an outing of some sort. So if I show we drop them off early, are we get in trouble for that? We're always there to pick all of them up on time. It's just that arrival time sometimes changes.
This is Elena Messia from MTM at Corporate, and just want to thank you all for your time for the call. I think the intent is to make sure that people aren't excessively late. The department is very concerned with critical care appointments, dialysis, chemo, radiation. I think what you're talking about are, the heavily grouped trips for intellectually developmentally delayed and children and these types of trips, which we, understand if one person's late, then everybody's late. We really want to focus on getting people to their appointments on time, and we're not really interested in putting a system in place that penalizes you excessively. So we really want to focus on driving the outcomes that we want. We don't want people excessively late. We want critical care appointments that are dependent on chair times to be picked up, dropped off on time. So I know that this is a change in the program. We're interested in hearing your feedback, and we can take that back and discuss it with the department and come back to you. But I would say, by and large, what you're talking about is not the intent of what we're trying to achieve.
Okay,
this is Jeremy.
Hello, everybody.
This is Jeremy with
One second. This is Slava Arutuna with IDHW Transportation. For the last 3 meetings, we've been talking about that there was a few mistakes, actually more than a few mistakes, which has been made by either MTM system or the employees who are adding the clients last minute or when providers do not work. So that created lots of problems for us. Do you think that there was a possibility that we could move that liquidated damages, let's say, to October 1st, before to make sure that all those glitches, computer glitches, and also human mistakes would be fixed before those liquidated damages be forced on us? Because it seems like maybe in the next 30 days it's not going to be. There's only it's 80 to 90% that McDonald's was against us. Exactly was not our mistake. So is that possibility also to perhaps move to 60 or 90 days away from today?
We can take that back and consider it. We do have one software development item that is going in place on B-leg trips. So we can look at the timeline for when that development is completed and look at the timing. We're not unopposed to that. I think what we want to make sure that we put in place, though, right away is the critical care transports. We are being LD'd for those, and so we need your help in making sure that we schedule those appropriately. So we want feedback on those critical care appointments. If we've had a scheduling error, we want to know about it. So we want to make sure there's skin in the game for both of us to fix those issues.
This is Jeremy with Trinity Transport. Your intent is to reduce no-shows and provider errors with the critical care. Is that correct?
That's one of the big ones, but we certainly don't want excessively late transports for anybody.
Okay, so the follow-up to that is, are those clients going to be earmarked as these are clients that if they are late, there's liquidated damages, but a DD client, there's latitude there? Or because it's data in, data out, how does MTM distinguish between somebody who's a DD client and it's okay for them to be 10 minutes late and somebody who's a dialysis client?
You know, I think there's some feedback, so just make sure you're muted. You know, I think what we want to make sure is that we're not treating any Medicaid member, you know, by and large differently than another. I think what we can talk about is different levels of LDs for both dialysis and GD. You know, critical care appointments, missing dialysis appointments is not acceptable, and they have, you know, limited number of times to be seen. So that is one thing that we're very aware of, and we want to make sure it's managed properly. We can take back any comment, but again, we don't want members by and large being treated completely differently, but we can look at windows of lateness before LDs are put in place.
Because what that brings to mind is if we wait a week to bill, and there's 2 weeks time before we get the pre-assessment, we're going back to our drivers who take 30 people a day to remember back 3 weeks to a circumstance that's very normal to them, to come up with a reason why it happened when it's been happening to these people in an acceptable manner for the majority of their existence in the Medicaid population.
So tell me what, you said that your clients, the facilities, are okay with them being 10 minutes late, let's say. You know, have we surveyed them what they consider late? And maybe that's something we need to go back and ask them, or do we need to change the arrival time to be, you know, 10 minutes earlier? Or, you know, I just want to make sure we're not forgetting who our clients are and what they want also to be seen as on time.
I would say that from the DD Center standpoint, that they give a realm of time. They give, I mean, help me out, guys. They work pretty easily with us because there's so many of them in town that they understand that we drop off one and we go to another, and that we can't be in 4 places at the same time. And so they give us that latitude. And if we earmarked DD clients with this latitude,